Yeah, I mean, anytime you're able to get to the ballpark, right, just get here. You play this game for a long time. You understand that you got a 162 season, and sometimes you're just going to, get to the field and feel good, and sometimes you're not. So today, obviously, getting here, we didn't know if we were going to play or not. But we got to the ballpark and ended up winning tonight, and, we'll take that.
Well, Bryce, I'm loving it because you talked to us and everything went right for you guys. So I'm going to ask you, and I have to ask you, what was it that you saw that the rest of the team couldn't figure out about Astrak starting the game?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, just trying to get him over the plate. He's pretty dang good. He's got that cutter that moves a lot. He's got that slider, that changeup. So just trying to jump on him as early as I can, early and often. And Suter, man, he's had my number for a long time. So being able to get to 3-2 against him and having a good at-bat right there was huge.
Hey, Bryce, this is Grandy here. You talked earlier today about that Philly weather out there. It's drizzling, it's windy, the wind chill. And as you mentioned, you didn't know if you were going to play today. As the 31-year-old veteran on that club, how do you keep the rest of the club motivated and excited knowing, hey, there's a chance we're going to play, stay ready to play?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we got to check anybody on this team. I mean, they've been doing it for a long time. Obviously, our young guys are ready to go each night. So not really, don't really have to pump anybody up to get out here. I mean, for our fans to show up tonight in this weather, I thought we had a great crowd, and anytime we're able to go into the ballpark and play in the bank, I mean, there's nothing like it.
There is nothing like it. That is right. Thanks for the time, Bryce. Get warm. Appreciate it, as always.
Thanks, y'all.
Thank you, Bryce.
All right, big dog.
We're good luck. Tell your friends, gentlemen. I mean, how about this? The Bryce is right. We said, how's the weather? What did he say? It's Philly. It's Philly out. I said, what does that mean? Dreary as heck. He is a special player. My goodness. When it is rainy and when it is cold and maybe when you don't quite feel like being there, he says, you know what? I got you.
And stay ready. Come to the ballpark. You know you're going to have a chance to play until they tell you the game is over. I think that's just the veteran presence. That's just the mindset. And in Philly, in April, you're going to have days like this, so it's not a surprise, and I think that's what gets those guys ready every day.
I kept looking on the mound, Pedro, thinking, how the heck are they getting a grip on the ball?
Well, it's simple. They know what they have. You don't really need to do much more than you normally do because, as you know, the pitchers stay warmer than the position players. So what they did was use what they had, and you saw Jimmy attack the strike zone with a lot of movement all over the place and changing eye levels from all over, from cutters. You didn't see anything straight until finally Harper got to Astrak for a little bit, but nobody else seemed to be centering the ball as good as Bryce Harper was doing because Harper really understands what he's going to see, especially early in the season.
Toughest position to play in the rain? Let me guess. That was a loaded question. I should have known it.
You know what? Only because, and I'll say this on a routine ground ball, because a long ground ball to the third baseman going away from the field, that is a tough throw when a ball is coming off the grass and it's wet. But on a routine ground ball, and more ground balls go to the middle of the field, yeah, it's on your mind, just making sure you get a 4-seam grip and not a 2-seam grip. And all the time, you can't control that. The runner's going up the line, and you're moving left to right. And it is a scary throw to make. But myself, I used to go and get some lip balm and just had a little tackiness on it, like the Carmex, the kind of menthol, open up my pores, and that gave me a little extra grip on the ball.
If you missed a second of it at Citizens Bank on a Tuesday night, we got you. It was rainy, it was cold, and Bryce Harper, he did not mind at all. This was the fourth pitch of the at-bat in the first inning, 2 outs, a sinker, got all of it. First hit of the season, and it was in...
A ding-dong Johnson. That's
right.
What it was,
First
Lauren.
of the year in dramatic fashion up top. Yes, please, top of the third, 2 outs. Well, Benson's a good player. Down the line, an RBI double down the right field line that will score Tyler Stevenson. You can see the core for Cincinnati. You really can.
Do we get the exit velo on that? Because that ball was loud on
Now
TV.
you're putting me on the spot. Run it back in the bottom of the fourth. So much power, so much focus. He is the chosen one. Ask Sports Illustrated, right? Solo home run.
Another what?
Ding-dong Johnson.
Yeah. Way to
Feeling
start the
pretty darn
show.
good.
A couple of.
And worth a replay. That is for darn sure. 2-1 Phils, bottom 6, 2 outs. Trey Turner on third. Bryson Stott, grounder up the middle. And Ellie De La Cruz It's wide. This is a perfect example of the conditions, right? And it pulls Christian Encarnacion's strand off the bat.
I put that more so on just Ellie, just, being lazy right there,
Really?
not setting his feet. But that ball is still very catchable. And I will say this, when you're getting closer to the first baseman and you got a guy like Ellie who can throw the ball, it does make it unpredictable because you're not sure what's going to happen. He's moving, put him up the line, and it's a tough play.
In the bottom of the seventh. Ooh. Oh, my gosh. 3-2
Pedro, what do you got there?
A ding-dong
Right
Johnson
center field,
Grand Salami.
third of the night, 8-1 Phillies, and the Phillies roll. The Reds made it interesting late-ish, and they have some guys. Will Benson, nice contact. Christian Encarnacion strand. You can see sort of a nucleus forming for the Reds. And you know what? You and I were talking about this coming into the game, Jimmy, because when you go deep in the postseason like the Phillies do, and you lose in devastating fashion, not to recap Game 7, sorry about that, of the NLCS, that takes its toll, right? And you think, shoulda, woulda, coulda. Do you think that has any effect on their start to the year?
I think mentally, yes, because you want to come out and try to make up for that loss. You really do. And there's no way to make up for that loss. But in the back of your mind, once that season starts, once you get out of spring training, we're trying to make up for everything that didn't go right last year. And what didn't go right was Game 7. And so, yes, you come out, you get blown out in Game 1, you find a way to win a game, and then you lose a few more in a row. And it's like, we got to get going. We have to get going. And we've been there where we felt like we should have won. You're trying to make up for those games. Tonight definitely gets them back on the right path, especially when a superstar does what a superstar does.
Yeah.
3 home runs, a grand slam, 6 RBIs, and a win. And that type of weather, less than performance enhancing conditions.
Right.
He performed with that ball
Can
tonight.
I add something else, too?
Of course, sir.
A great outing from Turnbull.
Oh, great outing.
Great outing. He stayed in the game. Nothing bothered him. Great tempo. Moving the ball all over the place. And he kept the Cincinnati Reds off balance the entire time he was there. Regardless of what they got, which is a couple of line drives, for the kind of offense they have, I think he did an outstanding job. And that's what they need. Proper starting pitching and relievers.
And you said, Ashcraft, you said he's elevating, and the Phils are aggressive as a lineup in total.
Yeah, they came after him, but he was able to manipulate the ball. He was moving it. He knew the conditions, so he used it to his advantage. So did Turnbull. I mean, they both did an outstanding job, especially attacking the strike zone early and changing eye levels on everybody. They both had probably deserved the same credit, except you don't have a Bryce Harper that you have to face on the other team.
That's the difference.
And Pedro, what's more difficult there? Is it the mound or the ball? Because it's raining, it's muddy. I know getting that batter's box is slippery, being on the base pass is slippery. What is worse in that situation?
I think the mound is worse if it gets a little bit wet because you're concerned. You slip a little bit, and most likely, for sure, will be an injury. So that's why the umpires were giving the pitchers a little bit more time to clean their cleats. They stopped the clock a couple of times for them to clean the cleats and make sure that they were okay. Because if they're not, it could lead to an injury. And that's what those two guys don't need. Both of them have been victims of injuries, major injuries, so they don't need that.
The NL Central's gettable. We say that. We use that phrase a lot. Where do the Reds land?
Ooh, I mean, it's definitely. I wouldn't even put the word
I have them
gettable.
first.
No one's going to run away with it in that division.
Okay,
That's
so
the thing.
it keeps you close.
So you have a chance going all the way to September. That's the thing. Wow. I think when you mix things up at what happened up in Milwaukee and the Cubs, that puts a little level on some things. You took counsel from Milwaukee, bring them to the Cubs. Milwaukee wants to show what they can do. The Cubs feel like they got the right man. So I still think it's going to go through one of those two teams up there.
Okay, so third.
With Cincinnati?
Third in the division.
Yeah, I got him third.
Come on, Jimmy.
Ooh, third?
I want an
You don't have
answer.
any faith?
I have them first, by the way, and it's not because they're on our air.
I
Because if they get a starter at the deadline off the starter tree.
They can hit, and if they pitch like they
Is it
did
that
last year,
easy,
they'll be
Pedro?
good.
Yeah, I said last night it was timing, but the swing path, he seems like he's on the baseball even up the past few games. So it's just a matter of time for him. He's a great hitter, and I don't really get concerned with Bryce.
What's it like to just see him do something like that? He hasn't done this since he's been
That's
here.
what the great players do. You know, they have big nights like that, and we needed it. That grand slam just sort of everybody could exhale a little bit, and that was huge.
How Snopes feeling?
Pardon?
How Garrett Snopes feeling?
Okay, he's a tough guy. You know, he's not real big in stature, but he's a tough guy, and he gutted it out there.
Did you sense maybe when Bryce comes up with the bases loaded there that could hit a third one or not? When Bryce comes up with the bases loaded there,
Yeah, I mean,
hit a third one. Do you sense that at all or no?
with what he's done in the past and what we've seen here, yeah, I mean, it goes through your mind for sure.
You've said a few times here that it mentioned about like timing for Bryce, and it was just what you guys needed tonight. How do you balance the messaging of like wanting that fast start with knowing it's a long season, knowing timing is necessary for these things?
Yeah, it's, you know, you have to balance it, and you can't lose your mind over losing a couple of games, not playing well early. You got to just stay with the process, and making sure that you're not panicking, and making sure you're not putting people in spots where they're going to get hurt or overplaying them, and we're just going to continue with the process.
Did Pinto learn the splitter in spring training, or did he more so refine the pitch there?
Yeah, I think he had it before. I'm not really sure. He got to camp late, but I know that the first day that we got him, we're talking with him that he had 5 or 6 different pitches. And he could throw them for strikes. I mean, he did a great job.
What do you open your eyes? Just stuff and.
Yeah, and the ability to throw strikes, and hasn't. Last time he pitched here was 6 years ago, and to come in here and do what he did and throw strikes and keep us in the ball game, and then we got some separation and just keep pitching. That was, huge for us.
There is a speed bump on the front. There is a speed bump on the front. There is a speed bump on the front.